Episode 70, Mysterious Surprise. The Bewitching Love Letter Style. A mind-blowing secret? What secret is it? Hurry up and spill it. Yeah, don't keep us in suspense. Everyone loves gossip, especially major gossip. In no time, almost everyone had gathered around Fanya. Fanya waited until they were practically begging, then satisfied, she spoke slowly. At tomorrow's wrap-up banquet, Suyen will propose to Shuelua on the spot. As soon as the words fell, everyone wore expressions of shock. Because this gossip was truly sensational. After a brief silence, everyone began to frantically ask for details. Oh my god. Is it true? A live proposal. How romantic. Fanya, how do you know about this? Fanya looked smug. I'm Shuelua's best friend. Suyen naturally told me in advance, so I can cooperate with some of his small details. By the way, keep it a secret from Shuelua, don't let her know, or the surprise will be ruined. We got it, we won't say anything. Everyone nodded repeatedly. Fanya continued confidently, at tomorrow's wrap-up banquet, everything from the hotel to the feast is sponsored by the Su family. It seems they are planning a big surprise. Wow. I envy Ning Shuelua so much. Wow. This is definitely the most sensational event of the year. Just thinking about it makes me feel so happy. Such an outstanding man, and he's so thoughtful. At this moment, someone in the crowd spoke with a strange expression. Then, wouldn't Ning Shi, who has always been in competition with Ning Shuelua, be infuriated? She might be driven crazy this time. Fanya immediately sneered, hee, can't you see it yet? Ning Shi must have heard the news a long time ago and knows about Suyan's proposal. Didn't you notice how bad her mood was today? Everyone thought for a moment and then showed a look of sudden realization. No wonder, her mood today was pretty bad. It seems she was in a terrible mood. At this moment, someone suddenly burst into laughter. Haha, I just thought of something. What if Ningshi's ridiculous admirer is also planning some surprise? If they clash at the banquet, won't it be even more embarrassing for Ningxi? Ha ha ha. That love letter is just laughable. How could there be such a ridiculous person? I really don't know what he's going to give as a gift. Fanya looked contemptuous. Embarrassment is self-inflicted. Who told her to be so indiscriminate, hooking up with anyone? She's surrounded by these lowlifes, so it's no wonder she's always so jealous of Shuelua. After everyone finished gossiping, Fanya's eyes gleamed with a triumphant light. She secretly sent a text message to Chongli. Sister Chong, everything is settled. The rumors have already been spread. This time, the heavens are also helping us. Ningxi has a particularly ridiculous admirer, and he's preparing a surprise for her. At the same time, in France, at Le Doyen, a 3-Michelin-starred restaurant. Alain Passard, the executive chef busy in the kitchen, suddenly received a call from Las Vegas. After taking the call, Alain stopped what he was doing, took off his apron, handed it to the sous chef beside him, and said with a serious expression, I need to leave immediately and head to Country C. I'll be the assistant chef at a banquet. The rest is up to you. Several sous chefs were shocked by his sudden decision. They exchanged glances and said, now, immediately? Your schedule usually requires at least half a year of advance booking, even for someone as prestigious as the other party. Why the sudden? And, I didn't hear wrong, did I? You just said you're going as an assistant, so who is the main chef that has the qualification to have you as an assistant? It's my honor to be the assistant for that person, Alain said with great respect. The sous chefs wore expressions of disbelief. They could already guess which master chef could make Alain willingly be an assistant, but who could make that master chef personally take charge of an event? One of the sous chefs couldn't help asking, may I ask which distinguished person's banquet you are attending this time? Who is Ning Xia? Everyone looked puzzled. Suddenly, someone remembered something and asked, by the way, your apprentice, Mr. William, seems to be from Country C as well. Do you know if he is acquainted with this noble young lady, and whether he will also attend her banquet this time? William? Alain frowned and shook his head directly. Even I can only be an assistant, he doesn't have the qualifications. Oh, I see. The crowd showed great admiration. At this moment, Ningxi was completely unaware of everything that had happened. She was fully focused on discussing the next scene with Guo Qixing and the screenwriter, Yi Linglong. After a long preparation, Ningxi finally felt confident. She took a deep breath and said to Guo Qixing, Director, I'm ready. Good. Guo Qixing patted her shoulder. Let's start. Okay. Guo Qixing immediately notified all departments to prepare. Then, he took the megaphone and shouted, 3, 2, 1. Action. As the shooting began, everyone fell silent. Finally, it was the last scene, the grand finale of Tianxia. The treacherous ministers were dead, the virtuous concubine was dead, and the foolish monarch was also dead. Meng Changa's great revenge was finally avenged. Next, she had to take revenge on the people who had wronged her and the souls of the Meng family. However, at the last moment, the blood of a general's family made it impossible for her to do it. In the end, she chose to jump off the cliff and fulfill the main character's righteousness. During this segment, Ningxi had been struggling with how Meng Changa should commit suicide and jump off the cliff. Should Meng Changa be resentful or unwilling, or should she be desperate? To figure this out, Ningxi almost went mad. However, now, she finally perfectly interpreted this scene. Ningxi, playing Meng Changa, wore a fiery red wedding dress, holding Sun Huanqing's tablet in her arms. Her face showed neither resentment nor unwillingness, let alone despair and nostalgia. With a shy expression, as if she was moved by seeing Sun Huanqing for the first time, she closed her eyes, with a satisfied smile on her lips, and leaped off. In the end, Ningxi chose to portray it as a return to innocence. Meng Changa returned to the carefree girl she used to be at the last moment. The scene of her jumping off the cliff was shot beautifully by Ningxi. Although there was no deliberate attempt to make people cry, almost everyone on the scene was in tears. They felt a deep sense of loss and emptiness in their hearts, as if something important was missing. The original ending was that Meng Changa died by the hands of the female and male leads. After this adjustment, even though it seemed like a difference between suicide and homicide, the entire plot had changed. With this, the last scene was finished. Tianxia had wrapped up. We've wrapped up. We finally wrapped up. Cheers erupted from everyone on the set, and some were so excited that tears streamed down their faces. Ningxi also felt a deep sense of emotion. Her first drama had finally come to a successful end. When she returned to the dressing room, Ningxi didn't even have the energy to change her clothes. She collapsed like a puddle of mud on the makeup table. At this moment, Xiaodao rushed in, pushing the door open with urgency. "Sishi, you've finally finished shooting." Ningxi weakly waved her hand. "What's the matter, dear? Can't you tell me later? I'm mentally exhausted right now and can't think straight." Xiaodao was extremely anxious. "You can't do that, Sister Shi. You must pull yourself together. Do you know what everyone in the crew is saying about you now?" "Huh? What happened?" She had only shot a scene, what could have gone wrong? Xiaodao was almost defeated by her. She handed over a crumpled pink letter. "See for yourself." Ningxi forced herself to focus, scratched her head, and took the letter. Muttering to herself, she began reading, "Ah, my dearest Shi. I love you, like a mouse loves rice, like a cat loves fish, like a dog loves bones." Pfft. Ningxi couldn't continue. She almost choked on her own saliva. Damn, what the hell was this? Never in her life did she expect to see this devilish love letter style again. Could we please not show off the state of our nation? It was simply heart-wrenching. Monstrous. And what was with the most noble, the most seductive, the most irresistible, the most compatible with your beauty, wisdom, and nobility nonsense? Being the most noble was fine, but the most seductive and irresistible, what kind of absurdity was this? What did that bastard want to do? Xiaodao became even more anxious. "Sishi, you really don't know? Right now, everyone is waiting to see you make a fool of yourself. I heard that at the wrap-up banquet tomorrow night, Suyen is preparing a big surprise proposal for Ningzuelo. It's highly likely. And this unknown admirer says he wants to give you a big surprise too. These two, you'll really lose face. Hee hee." Ningxi sighed with a bitter smile. Did she want this to happen? But did she have a choice? Ningxi held the crumpled letter, her face filled with disappointment. It seemed that she couldn't escape this calamity. Now all she could do was console herself. This guy was tormenting her, but at least he was tormenting Lu Tingxiao as well. In the blink of an eye, it was the day of the wrap-up banquet. Ningxi was still a bit sluggish due to the exhaustion from the intense scenes yesterday. She looked a bit listless. Usually, she would get into character and out of character quickly, but in yesterday's situation, where she threw herself entirely into the role and left no room for herself, it would naturally take some time to transition back. In simple terms, the current Ningxi still had half of Meng Changa's soul within her. Xiaodao thought that she had suffered a setback and couldn't recover. She anxiously spun around, unable to come up with a solution. Following Lin Zizi's instructions, she acted as usual, adapting to the situation. Today's focus was undoubtedly on Ningzuelo, so Lin Zizi's only requirement for Ningxi today was to stay stable. Therefore, Ningxi applied a subtle and tasteful makeup, dressed in a champagne-colored Chanel haute couture evening gown, and headed to the venue. The wrap-up banquet was held at the only 6-star hotel in the imperial capital. When Ningxi arrived, it was a bit early, and she saw busy staff members setting up the venue. Various red roses and heart-shaped balloons were everywhere, and only someone blind would not recognize that a proposal was being prepared. In addition to that, the hotel was filled with various gift baskets and bouquets. Some were from business partners, while others were from fan friends. The place was almost crowded with gifts, leaving no space to step on. Ningxi glanced around and spotted a basket labeled Ningxi Global Fan Support Group in a corner, causing a warm glint in her eyes. She had her own fan support group now. Although the gifts she received were not comparable to what Ning Zuelo and Zhao Xizhou received, she was still very happy. However, Xiaodao, on the side, couldn't help feeling a bit disappointed. She thought, why did she receive so few gifts? It looks so cheap. How will she be able to face the journalists later? Back when she followed Lang Manyun, every wrap-up banquet was piled high with gifts. Now, she might end up embarrassing herself at the same level as Ning Zuelo. Seeing her sisters doing better and better while she fell from the peak of envy to the bottom was truly bitter. At this moment, Fang Ye and the others arrived with a bustling crowd. They exclaimed in admiration. Wow! The venue is beautifully decorated. It's so dreamy. How much money did they spend on this? Renting the entire hotel must be exorbitant. The hotel must be making a fortune. You don't understand. A top-tier goddess plus the most expensive young master in the imperial capital creating a romantic story. Such a sensational piece of news is an excellent opportunity for the hotel to promote itself. They're probably delighted. After everyone's amazement, they saw Ningxi standing in front of a small flower basket sent by a fan. They all covered their mouths and laughed. What's with the gift from Ningxi's fans? A little shabby flower basket? Why is she standing there? Is she looking for the surprise prepared by that ridiculous admirer? Do we have to rely on that absurd admirer? Isn't he driven mad by Ning Zuelo's stimulation? Fang Ye looked at Ningxi's direction with a triumphant expression, finally feeling relieved. She threw back the words from that night, "Oh, there is no harm when there is no harm." Hearing those harsh taunts, Xiaodao couldn't bear it any longer. She was so angry that she was about to cry on the spot. These people are really too much. How can they be like this? Ningxi sighed and patted Xiaodao's head gently. She spoke softly, "Xiaodao, my dear, it's just temporary. I won't let you suffer with me for long. Someday, I will conquer this realm for you." Xiaodao was instantly amused and teased, "Sishi, you're so annoying. Always teasing me." Seeing the little girl smile, Ningxi finally breathed a sigh of relief. In fact, she felt uncomfortable at the moment. It didn't bother her personally because such trivial matters didn't affect her. However, what she found most difficult to endure was the idea that the people around her were being mistreated because of her, making them suffer alongside her. As night fell, the lights in the city began to shine. All the key creative members of the crew, business partners, various media, and others gradually entered the grand banquet hall. The atmosphere was festive, and all the crew members wore expressions of pride and satisfaction. Oh my god! The style is too high. Have you ever seen a wrap-up banquet so grand and stylish? I need to take a few photos and show off on my social media. Ha ha ha, I might as well start a live stream. I feel like I could earn quite a bit in tips. This time, it's all thanks to Zuelo. Speaking of Zuelo, where is she? Has she arrived? Why the hurry? The protagonist naturally needs to make a grand entrance. Just as they finished speaking, Ning Zuelo, wearing an elegant white fishtail evening gown, gracefully entered amid the media's crowd. Immediately, Fang Ye and others went to greet her. Fang Ye affectionately linked arms with Ning Zuelo. "Zuelo, you're here. You look absolutely stunning today." Ning Zuelo shot her a glance, her face blushing. "Come on, it's nothing special, just like usual." Others around them also showered her with compliments. "Zuelo, your outfit is so beautiful. It's so luxurious, and it complements your figure so well." "Oh please, what do you guys understand? It's not about the clothes, it's the nourishment of love," someone teased. Ning Zuelo covered her face and said, "Enough teasing, stop making fun of me." Fang Ye playfully used a spoon as a makeshift microphone. "Miss Ning Zuelo, we would like to interview you. How does it feel to have such a perfect boyfriend?" Ning Zuelo had a sweet expression. "Stop kidding around. By the way, make sure to eat a lot tonight. Suhan specially invited a Michelin 3-star chef from Xiangqing." The crowd erupted into exclamations. Wow. Michelin. And it's 3 stars. My goodness. Your Suhan is really extravagant. How much will this meal cost? A Michelin 3-star chef from Xiangqing? Could it be William Fei? Ning Zuelo listened to the astonishment of the crowd and casually glanced in Ning Shi's direction. Then she answered, yes, it's him. I saw it in a magazine that day. I casually mentioned it, and I didn't expect Suhan to really invite him. As soon as she finished speaking, a group of girls surrounding them couldn't take it anymore. Ah. Spare us, the singles. Stop showing off your love. Please, those with partners can't withstand this level of PDA. Ning Zuelo gave them a reproachful look. Annoying, I won't tell you anymore. You guys have fun, I'm going over there. Sure, we won't bother you. Go find your Suhan. Meanwhile, in the corner, Xiaotao, who was sitting with Ning Shi, was so angry that she almost bent the spoon. Damn it. It's actually Chef God William. My biggest wish is to taste a dish made by him. I never thought I'd eat it in this situation. It's ruining my appetite. William Fei. Hearing that name, Ningshi's expression became somewhat trance-like. Exactly. Xiaotao wiped her mouth with excitement. You may not know William Fei, but you must know Alan Passard, right? He's the executive chef of a top Michelin restaurant in F country. William Fei is his personally taught disciple. He's very famous and hard to invite. This meal, ordinary people would spend their entire fortune on it. Ningxi didn't say anything in response. Of course, she knew William Fei. Many years ago, for a period, she loved watching Chef's Challenge, and her favorite was the chef named William Fei. Every day after school, she would sit in front of the TV drooling. At that time, Suhan teased her and said, when they held their wedding banquet, they should invite William Fei to cook for them. Well, it's true. The past is not worth looking back on.